Hey everyone, Gil here at Camppatton Family Compound. This is a video response to Corsair Trainers video series he's doing, the newly awoken, referring to those that have become awoken to the fact of, hey, I need to get prepared. And so this is for his video number 4, I believe it is, talking about gardening. So in the face of a economic decline, turnaround, collapse, whatever you want to call it. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit of the stuff here that we're doing here in our garden here in California. That's in a suburban area. As you can see, that's the property line there. And that fence over there is the property line there. So this property is just a hair under a 1/3 acre. As in most of the ones around behind us are 1/4 acre or slightly a little bit over 1/4 acre. So I can show you what we're doing here. There's a lot of the homes on the street here, down that way especially, that have gardens in their front yards. All right, so I'm going to show you some of the things we're growing here that are edible. There are a lot of stuff here that my wife's growing which are not edible, and I don't know the name of all the plants, but the ones I do know, I'll point out to you what they are, and we can go over it. So down here, all right, we got some the evergreen bunching onions here. We got some strawberries. I just loaded up a tote, one of those black and yellow totes, full of them to take back to Idaho. And then she has some flowers and stuff in here. She got more strawberries here. And yesterday, she and I were out here picking, and I see a whole bunch more strawberries in here that have turned ripe over the last 24 hours and need to be picked. So potatoes, and these are, quote, volunteer potatoes. When she had potatoes planted out here, she thought she'd got them all. She did not, and boom, tomatoes coming back. Shallots and onions there. Sunflowers. These are sunflowers coming up. The interesting thing about the sunflowers here, she had some big monster sunflowers here, and the squirrels were climbing up, and they actually chewed off a couple of the small flowers off and took them over onto that fence over there. And as they were eating, they probably, I would say, we probably think about half of the sunflowers fell on the ground. The next year on the other side of the fence was a sunflower forest from all the sunflowers that came up from that squirrel that was eating on that. And so a lot of these sunflowers around here this year, she hasn't planted any sunflowers for the last several years. All the sunflowers are self-seeding volunteers. So she got sunflowers, potatoes, onions and shallots, garlic, tomatoes, 2 tomato plants here, more sunflowers. I'm not sure what the small ones are in there. I can't remember what she said they were, but those are edible too. Then she has the other flowers in there. A bunch of other flowers around here. This is a rhubarb that has refused to die. It grows up, she cuts it back, comes back up again in the spring. I can't remember what these plants here are, but they've been coming back year after year, and I believe they're an herb of some sort. And of course she has some roses and some other plants here. And these other ones could easily be food plants put in these tubs as well. This is her monstrosity. This was a gallon container of a geranium that rooted through and went bonkers up the tree. There's a bunch of other plants in here. Most of these here are non-edible plants there. Let's go through here. And then she has different plants down here that are growing up into the tree, and that's what the geranium's coming up on here. So she's cut back on a lot of the, this year she didn't plant anything like squash or anything like she normally does. She's just too busy at work to do it. So yeah, so basically the stuff that's coming up here, other than a couple of plants like the tomatoes, everything else is volunteered or self-seeding or perennials. Like the she has the thyme here. I believe this is either thyme or rosemary. She's got both out here. And we got more sunflowers coming up here. And there are a couple of the real milkweed, which aren't the thorny thistle ones. They're the nice smooth ones that the butterflies like. And then she has berries here. I mean, let me get down in here. I mean, look at all those berries on this thing. So she's got berries growing there. Let's head up in the backyard. And of course, we have one of the lemon trees. Look at all those lemons on the tree. And she gives these away by the dozens weekly. Let's go in here and you can see more of the, come on, gate closed. See more of the lemons here growing off on the inside here. Now in here, there are two grape plants on this side here. And two grape plants over here. This one here we thought was dead. We chopped it off and it came back. Of course, now she has some other berries growing in here in pots, and she's actually given these away. So, and then this plant here is her, shoot, I can't remember what it's called. But this one is one that the butterflies like as well, and it's up there. The butterflies are all over it, doing stuff on it. This is another one of the blueberries that didn't make it. It got flooded and died out. So those are some of the grapes down here. Now up here, we get into the real food stuff. Apricot, Fuji apple, Granny Smith apple, blueberry or boysenberry, some sunflowers in those pots over there. Oh shoot, not persimmon. It's a round fruit full of seeds. Pomegranate. That's a pomegranate there. We got more grape plants back here and over there. And as you can see, all those are all going to be pomegranates on it this year. Got borage here, which is edible and for municipal purposes as well. Some other types of blueberries here. Another blueberry here. Strawberries, more strawberries back here. And yes, I'm going to eat one. This is an orange tree. Now this orange tree is, oh geez, over 30 years old. So my mom passed away in 2007. It's about 2010 we actually took it out of one of the half 55-gallon barrels, and we put it in the ground. So, and it's, it's got a ton of new oranges starting to grow here, and it still has some older oranges on it too. Got two cherry trees here, and you can see cherries going on it there and over there, and she's fighting the birds right now. Got more borage growing down here. She took out most of the wandering Jew. Those are all peas down there. This is another apricot here. This is a tangerine tree here. Another orange tree. Another orange tree. A peach tree. A Meyer lemon here. And this lemon, actually, sorry, how many are under there? I'm looking underneath. Okay, so the big one here is a Meyer, and I'm not sure what this other lemon tree here is. And then we got a scrub oak growing here, and then she has artichokes. Look at all these artichokes growing up here. And these are perennial. They just keep growing up back each year. And back over here for these cherries here. And as you can see, the birds have been pecking at them already. And then of course, more onions down there. And so that's what we have here on this property. That is a garden in the suburban area. And so, yeah, it's possible to grow a lot of food. She gives away hundreds of pounds of food from this garden because we can't eat it all. Every time she makes a trip or I make a trip down from here to Idaho, we take up bags of apples, oranges, lemons, up to my daughter and her family up there and to some of the neighbors as well. Now, one of the things so I said this is the 3rd acre. We got a lot of concrete on the ground to hold back weeds and stuff, but a 20 by 60 foot shop plus a lean-to on the side, so that takes away from the area. We got an 8 by 20 building over there. That takes away from the area as well. So in reality, it's probably a 1/4 acre of land here when you take across off that back. And then we got the house here with the big cement patio and stuff on it here. All right, so it's like us. For those you have friends that are thinking about doing a garden, show them, hey, this is a lot of stuff you can grow here. Now I do have another video. I'm going to put this in the My Garden video playlist as well. There are 2 videos, Chris's garden tour part 1 and part 2, where she goes and explains what all the other plants are as well around here as well. Like I said, this year she did not do any squash, and usually she has about 5 or 6 monster squash plants going on, and they produce a ton, but they produce a lot of zucchinis and butternut and patty pans, and she gives most of that away. All right, so like I said, this is a VR to Steve at Corsair Trainers to his video series, The Newly Awoken. Go check it out. I will try to remember to put the link for it either down below or up over here, and you can go check that out over there at Steve's channel. All right, so remember, you can grow a garden, you can grow a lot of food, and it's probably a lot healthier than what you're buying in the store. See you around.